Hey everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining California Outdoor Recreation Partnerships membership webinar. And today we'll be talking about how CORP protects the places in our outdoor economy that make California. Next slide. This is our membership informational webinar. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific, and this will live on YouTube. So if anyone wants to go back or has interest, you may be seeing this in the future on YouTube. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Today, you'll leave knowing the advocacy work that CORP does, the future for a California Office of Outdoor Access and Recreation Economy, and how CORP membership strengthens your organization by joining our powerful support team. I'm Lexie Gritlefeld. I'm the director of California Outdoor Recreation Partnership. I have been with the organization since December 2019. I was a membership coordinator to start and then came into the director role a few years ago. And I'm really grateful for the opportunities and experiences. I find CORP really fascinating because we have such a wide breadth of policy topics from textile manufacturing, sustainability, to trails, to climate resiliency. It's anything that touches the outdoors. So every year, our agenda is so different from the year before, and it really holds my interest in that way. And I'm a really big, passionate outdoor recreation enthusiast. It's kind of how I came into the industry. I have a background in government, interned for Governor Brown and some assembly members, Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, worked for a member of Congress for a few years, went to a public affairs firm, and then ended up here. And in my spare time, I love rock climbing, backcountry skiing, trail running, hiking, you name it. I'll turn it over to our board chair, Yvonne Leow.
Hi, thanks everyone. Appreciate the intro, Lexi. My name is Yvonne Leow. I have been the board chair of CORP for the past year or so. I joined as a member as the founder and CEO of Bewilder. It's an outdoor education company that's based in Los Angeles. We produce after-school programs, products, and experiences to inspire more families to spend time outside. The reason I joined CORP, I have a background in political science. I worked for a decade in digital journalism, and along with my aligned interests, it also occurred to me that the outdoors really intersects with public policy by virtue of our public lands being the spaces in which we recreate on. And so it made a lot of sense, even for Bewilder and myself, to just be more plugged in about what is happening in Sacramento and in California. So that was the spirit. And I would say beyond Lexi's expertise is also her ability to make an impact and really grow Corp's reputation and presence and influence in Sacramento. That's something that's only going to continue in the years to come. So, been super impressed to be serving on the board with her as well as Jen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Marchand. I'm a professor at Cal Poly Humboldt. I'm actually an individual member, if you'd like, and I've been on the board for a couple months now. I joined Corp a number of years ago because, I think in higher education, we have the tendency to work a little bit in silo, and that's something I did not want to do. I wanted to have a much bigger, broader picture of the outdoor industry. My research and work is focused on workforce development, mainly kind of looking at job satisfaction and burnout in the outdoor industry specifically. And I started being curious, around an Office of Outdoor Recreation and looking at outdoor economy in rural areas. And Corp has just been a really amazing group to join for me, just to kind of enlarge my areas, my connections, and really getting out of the silo I think that I had been in education. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next slide.
Yvonne, is she here?
Oh, I think she had to go off for some reason.
Okay. Looks like she's coming back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Or
can hear you.
can you hear me, but you can't see me? Hello?
Yeah, correct. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
All right. Well, I'm encountering some technical difficulties. But that being said, uh, right now, decisions are being made in Sacramento about your permits, your packaging, your public lands, and your bottom line. The question isn't really whether policy affects you because it already is, and it's happening every day. CORP, the California Outdoor Recreation Partnership, is a 501(c)(6. It's membership-based and driven nonprofit trade association that focuses on two areas: one, advocacy and networking opportunities. So just to kind of do a live poll for those who are in attendance, wanted to know what policy issues keep you up at night. A, permitting; B, packaging and product regulations; C, public land access; D, funding; E, government partnerships; F, outdoor economy; G, workforce development; H, taxes. I honestly didn't know I should be worried, or feel free to put in the chat all of the above. We're just going to take a couple minutes just to kind of get everyone's answers.
If you want to add also your organization's name and which area you're worried about, that might be a good way to see the differences.
Definitely. All right, see a couple C's: public land access. Permitting, A and H, taxes, very relevant. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Dante and Michelle. Hey, Steve, DCE, that's correct. Funding, government partnerships, public land access. Hey, Ray, CDE, got you. Elizabeth, love to hear that. Margaret, public land access and funding, very relevant. Thanks, Jen. G, workforce development. Hi, Chris. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Accessibility for the disabled to parks and beaches. All right. Well, thank you for those, for sharing your thoughts. Let's move forward. As you know, Sacramento is making decisions about your business and your organizations and the outdoor economy at large. So the whole goal of CORP is to get us in the room. Our mission is very straightforward. It's to power a voice for the outdoor recreation industry, to shape policy, support investments, and engage an inclusive community of outdoor participants in California around the benefits of outdoor recreation. In Lexie's words, you're already paying for a seat, so don't leave it empty. Continue. These are our top three core priorities. Support recreation infrastructure, including investments in parks, trail maintenance, transportation, education, and new parks and under-parked communities. Secondly, is to promote equitable outdoor recreation access for all, primarily for underserved and urban communities, which was very much an inspiration for Bewilder's participation and something, Chris, you might be interested in too. Number three, enable business success for the outdoor recreation industry at large, which includes collaborating with our membership to advocate for policy affecting the industry. Whether it's Yosemite, Lake Tahoe, the Lost Coast, Joshua Tree, these are all world-renowned places and they are unrepresented. And California is one of the only Western states without an office for outdoor recreation. You can see this in this map. Here are the 25 states that have an office of outdoor recreation, and California is not one of them. We are home to the nation's largest active outdoor industry economy, contributing $87.9 billion in economic spending annually and over 500,000 jobs. This is the cheapest and most affordable lobbying you'll ever hire. one member
Right. I can
is
talk about our
Lexie.
lobbying. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So, one member hiring its own Sacramento representation costs a fortune. It can be over $100,000 a year to hire a lobbyist. So, our dues by collective advocacy, policy intel, and an early warning system on bills that could cost you real money. And we're really grateful to have Doug Houston of Houston Magnani and Associates represent us in Sacramento. He is a huge outdoor rec enthusiast, loves bike packing, gravel riding, mountain biking. And here's a photo of Doug fake biking in his suit at our Sacramento summit. He actually went and changed. We had a welcome bike ride on the American River Parkway this year, and he ran to his car and changed. But yeah, this is Doug. So next slide. So our community is our anchor. Our memberships range from big corporations like REI Co-op, Hydropack, the North Face, VF Corporation, smaller brands like Cirrus Innovation. We also have consulting small firms that are engaged with us. We've got nonprofit organizations like California Trout, Outdoor Outreach. We've got government agencies like County of Nevada, guide services like Cliffhanger Guides. We've got used gear shops, like retail shops too, on the smaller level, and then a lot of different types. So basically, it's anyone that touches the outdoor industry. You can do next slide. Membership eligibility is open to outdoor businesses ranging from, but not limited to, manufacturers, suppliers, retailers, guide services, tech companies, to outdoor nonprofit organizations, land trusts, government agencies, destination marketing organizations, and individuals. Here's a photo of Will Decker from our board of directors on the far right, and then Wade Crowfoot and I at the Outdoors for All convening in February. Wade Crowfoot is Secretary of Natural Resources right now. So advocacy and action. Annually, we get together for our Sacramento Summit. It's where we go to lobby the Capitol and engage like-minded folks at the Capitol and teach them a little bit more about outdoor recreation in the industry and what our impact is in California. The photo in the backdrop is more of a casual meet and greet we had with Cal Recycle over the textile recycling program that we're helping to implement in California. Will be up and running in 2030. And these are our brand members, manufacturing members, meeting directly with the folks at Cal Recycle handling that program. So we really try to engage in an inclusive way and make connections for our members at our Sacramento Summit. What I'm most proud of that we've delivered is partnerships with the Governor's Office, California Natural Resources Agency, and the California Environmental Protection Agency, and more in Sacramento since we were incorporated. We've held a lot of outdoor economy and climate resiliency legislation wins, especially with partner organizations. And then we've also worked and gotten amendments on sustainability legislation like the textile recycling program, PFAS. We're still working on the Fashion Act. And we were the sponsor organization behind the No Toxic Tent Act. You can move forward. All right, every trail leads to Sacramento. So our biggest push, though, has been for an Office of Outdoor Recreation, which we have renamed as an Office of Outdoor Access and Recreation Economy. Office of Outdoor Recreation was a little bit too vague, I guess. Since there is a Department of State Parks and Recreation, there's a lot of confusion in Sacramento on what that really was. And so we've focaled it around outdoor access, outdoors for all, and the recreation economy, California Jobs First currently, because outdoor recreation and tourism was acknowledged as a sector with California Jobs First. So it was really easy to try to align this so that the administration started to really understand what does an Office of Outdoor Recreation do. Can move forward. Partnerships in Sacramento that we currently have that we're very happy about is we were named a partner for the Outdoors for All strategy convenings this fall. If you would like to attend, please shoot me an email, Lexie, Lexie at californiaoutdoor.org if you haven't received an invite yet. But there are 7 field convenings happening all over the state, San Diego to Sacramento, and a bunch of other cities. So we're happy to include you on that. But, you know, we haven't had a type of partnership like this with CNRA before. So it's really exciting for us that we were named a partner. And we brought on vans from VF Corporation. We'll be sponsoring t-shirts for the events, and then Hydro Pack will be sponsoring bottles and a few other partners. But it's really fun that we're able to engage our members in that capacity and give back to the state when it comes to equitable access. Another thing is that we are in the board of directors for the Land Bell Producer Responsibility Organization for the SB 707 Textile Recycling Program, which will be held under Cal Recycle, under Cal EPA. So those are two very exciting partnerships that we have. As far as outdoor economy and climate resiliency legislation wins, we've obviously worked with some huge partners on these, like the Nature Conservancy, Trust for Public Land Resources Legacy Fund, California Council of Land Trusts. But we were highly supportive of the AB 30 going through the legislature in 2020. Although it didn't pass, Governor Newsom did create an executive order. I think it was like October 7th of that year, and have been engaged on 30 by 30 cents in support of hoping that California reaches its goal of protecting 30% of our public lands and waters by the year 2030. Another thing that we worked on was Prop 4 climate bond. We were successful in getting a ticket item through Doug, our lobbyist, for $100 million for trails in that bond. And then a bunch of our members gave money towards the Prop 4 climate bond campaign. Another thing is the AB 35, the wildfire budget bill going through this year that allocates climate bond money for wildfire resiliency. And then the third bucket we're most proud of, sustainability legislation. SB 707 passed, so we've been highly engaged in that process. I think we secured about 9 amendments in that bill to make it most workable for the industry. It included chemical management plans when it came to PFAS. It included a current recycling program dedications. There's a lot to it, but we are very happy that it passed. We got those amendments in and that we're on the board for establishing that program. So it's really exciting to be at the forefront of it. Another couple pieces of legislation, we worked on the PFAS and textile phase-out bills, AB 1817, AB 347, which were both Assemblymember Ting's bills. They both passed. We were able to get some amendments in there, basically to make it line up with the industry standards for our supply chain dates. Another thing is we've been working on the Fashion Act. It was last authored by Assemblymember Dawn Addis. It has died, so I'm not sure if she will author it or someone else will, but we will continue to work on that Fashion Act bill. And it's basically an environmental standards bill for fashion manufacturing. And then we were the sponsor organization behind the No Toxics Tent Act a few years ago, AB 267. This was authored by Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. I'm very grateful for her leadership on that. And it passed. It basically overturned a 45-year-old law that required flame retardants to be added to tents. We are able to get it overturned for synthetic fabrics with an occupancy of 12 or less. Basically, the companies didn't want to have to add harmful chemicals to their tents. We sleep in them. They live in your house in storage. And we wanted to be as kind to humankind as possible. So we were able to get that overturned. We did not ask for it to be overturned for canvas tents since they are highly flammable. But we did do it for like nylon polyester.
All right. So, I like to think that CORP is small enough for your voice to be heard, but big enough to make an impact. And I think that with some of the bills we just talked about, that's some examples of how our networking leads to advocacy and leads to policy changes. So we meet every year for an annual base camp. In the past, we've met in Yosemite, we've met in Carmel Valley, we met in San Diego. So this year we're meeting in October at Wildhaven, Sonoma in Healdsburg. That's a little less than, it's about an hour and a half north from the North Bay, and then about a little more than 2 hours from Sacramento. It's really an opportunity when you come to base camp. Well, first, it's outdoors with amenities and comfort. And so, you don't necessarily have to rough it if that's not something you want to do. But it allows you to meet with a smaller group of people. We have a variety of speakers and programming during that time. We generally always try to have some sort of outdoor activities, and just being able to talk about what's coming up in the year to come, in the months to come, in the legislature and in California in general around outdoor recreation. We also do regional happy hours. So we've done some so we had, the last one was in Eureka during the Outdoor Economy Summit. We've had them in Los Angeles and San Diego. And if you're interested in hosting, in being a host for a regional happy hour, also, we'd love to talk with you about, how we can do that. And the nice thing about that is, like, they're more, they're smaller. It's an opportunity, again, to like just get a bunch of different people from the outdoor industry together, in a smaller room, to have beverages and to talk about outdoor recreation. So as part of some of the stuff we've been involved with, the California Outdoor Economy Summit. So some of you, I think, were there at the beginning of June. It was the first California Outdoor Economy Summit. The plan is to continue. We're still working on exactly when that's going to happen and where that's going to happen. But I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll have some specifics as to what's happening next. But so for this year, we had 150 people come together in Northern California and Eureka, 3 days to talk about a variety of issues. And from what we've seen in the evaluations from folks that attended, there's definitely a need and a want to continue to do that. And there's obviously a lot of different, opportunities and topics that people are interested in. And so, being part of CORP gives you an opportunity to have a voice as to like what that might look like in the future. And yeah, so, you really, the end of CORP is that you get an inside edge, right? Like, you get an opportunity to be in the room and to advocate for what is important to you, right? And to have a group of people that support you towards your outdoor recreation goals.
All right. So these are a few things you may be thinking, like, hey, we're too small. Like, why would we join Corp? Well, that's exactly why we exist. We have a lower dues amount for smaller brands and nonprofit organizations, individuals, because you get outvoiced first. We'd love to exist for you, exactly to have a voice in Sacramento and what's happening with our outdoor economy. Another thing we hear from a lot of brands is we don't lobby. Well, policy impacts you. The only question is whether you're going to be ready when it does. And so maybe you don't lobby, but you could support us and give your voice, and we can notify you of things happening and work with you along the way before it impacts your business or your organization or your county negatively. Well, maybe it's not in your budget. Well, our dues are pretty affordable when it comes to a trade association. We try to make it approachable. That's a big deal for us, is to be affordable. So what's the budget line item for a bill that bans your best-selling product materials? And can your outdoor economy thrive if guide service cannot operate? That was a big deal in Oregon. They were dealing with potential liability insurance not being covered. And so basically, what happens if ski resorts or guide services can't operate? So we're here to really try to enforce that Sacramento keeps that in account in their minds. And so I think CORP membership is the most affordable insurance the industry can provide. My company or my organization won't join. We hear that a lot. Sometimes companies get bought out by head companies, and they just don't think that joining us is a benefit. So we do offer individual memberships. It's a non-voting membership, but it's only $100 a year. I'll turn it over to Yvonne to do our Q&A. If you have any questions, you're welcome to come off camera or put it in the chat.
No questions. Any concerns, feedback, ideas?
How much is it for a company to join?
It depends on your annual revenue, so it varies.
Okay.
Lexie, that's the breakdown.
Yeah,
Is,
I can pull that up.
I can find it on the website.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, so if you make under $250,000 annual revenue, it's only $250 a year. If
Okay.
you're under 500K, it's 500 a year.
Okay.
If you're under 750K, it's 750 a year. And then under 1 million is 1,000. Then they go up a little bit more exponentially. So businesses with under 20 million, it's 5,000. Anything over 100 million, it's 10,000. And then if you're, sorry, under between 20 and 100, it's 10,000. And then over 100 million is 15,000.
Okay.
And then nonprofits, if you're under $1 million annual revenue, it's $100 a year. And then if you're over, it's 500 a year.
Okay. So
And then I
what,
think like DMOs and counties are at 250.
and what's the actual website where I can take a look at everything?
CaliforniaOutdoor.org, and I can do the membership page in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Chris, what entity are you with?
I'm with McElwain Mobility Solutions. We're an unusual company. We're a general contractor and specialty contractor, and we specialize in accessibilities of homes, automobiles, RVs, and then we got lots of cool things to get people outdoors, that, regardless of their abilities. So I've been trying to promote that section of the business because one, people don't even know what's available out there. There's a crazy amount of things that can, especially the fact that like they did a design for just an accessible trail to get down to the beach at Sacramento along the American River. And the cost of the design alone was $1 million. That's not even including like the actual construction of it. And that could have actually bought so
Mhm.
many like off-road wheelchairs that it would have actually allowed people to take the existing uh beautiful place that it is and not, put concrete down. And then they would be able to, there's a lot of states that have at the park systems these off-road wheelchairs that people can borrow for like an hour or two at a time so they can go out and hit the trailheads. So that way people can get to the places that we take for granted, really, at the end of the day. So that's one of the reasons why I've been trying to come to the outdoor economy for all and stay in touch with all this because it's I work a lot with the regional centers and we have, bikes and all sorts of things. So I'm trying to get people aware of what's out there for the outdoors so that, people can go to their happy place.
It's awesome. We love that. We've been really trying to get ADA as like a focal point within Outdoors for All. The CNRA has been highly supportive, I should say that. But I think a lot of people, when they think about equitable access, they think about race and making sure that people of all types are outside. Well, that includes accessibility for the adaptive community. So I love what you're doing, and I think that work is so important.
Awesome. Thank you. And what you guys are doing is important as well. I just got to uh, talk with everybody about it in regards to it. But either way, I support what you guys are doing and also if you're ever doing any things at the Capitol, I can actually bring things down to show people because we have an incredible amount of recreational items for people of all abilities. Some of them everybody would like to play on, not just people that are handicapped, because a lot of the equipment is actually pretty fun, regardless of whether you are handicapped or not. So if you guys ever need any support like that, I'm literally 20 minutes away from the Capitol from where
Oh,
our
great.
office is. So
Awesome.
any help you guys need down here, just let me know.
Yeah. And that equipment is so expensive. I used to volunteer at Disabled Sports, Eastern Sierra. It's now Access Mammoth is their name, but I just remember like the sit skis, all of that. It's like so expensive, and you need those grants and that government support sometimes to get that.
Yes, and that's, I don't think what people realize is there's not, you're not making hundreds of them or thousands like you do on some other things, so uh, they do cost, quite a bit of money sometimes. And the more accessible you make it for everybody, you can still save money by having equipment versus like building paths. So we're just trying to get people to even understand that that's an option. And,
Mhm.
there's other states that are doing it very successfully. California, like not having the office that you're talking about, they also are lacking greatly in, track chairs for people to use at different places. Whereas there's some states that have a huge number of them. I think one in Colorado, Staunton, has 45 chairs.
Yeah, I appreciated you coming to the Outdoor Economy Summit and bringing your chairs there. I think it was great for people to see, and we were also able to use them on the waterfront trail. It seems like there's a pretty big push right now also for like kind of creating more accessible trails, like enlarging trails. I feel like that's something I keep seeing these days, like lots of push to like allow like adaptive mountain biking and wheelchairs on trails. So that's been great.
Yes. And I'm excited to help out in any way I can.
They showed a really great film at the Switchback conference. It was called Best Day Ever, and Vermont has an Office of Outdoor Recreation, and I believe that they were highly supportive of these like adaptive community mountain bike trails. There's like Black Diamond adaptive mountain bike trails now in Vermont, which was wild for me as I'm terrified on a mountain bike and I'm not adaptive. So it's awesome to see that they have that opportunity there. Um, I I hope, that with the new governor coming in, that we'll be able to get an office. It's just been such a difficult process because California is such a large state and our government is huge. So to really understand and, collaborate with them and have them understand what this really is and that it isn't state parks and recreation, it's something different. And state parks has been apprehensive about it because they're protective of their budget. But I think I think a big part of how we're going to get this done is really widening our reach and our membership and our Oregon having it really be statewide and everyone that touches the outdoors because we really need so many more voices and partners to get it across the administration that this is something that California needs and to invest in, especially for our like rural gateway economies.
Agree.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chris.
I think one thing we didn't touch on too much is like how we partner with nonprofit organizations and work we've done there. And like Outdoor Outreach has been a huge partner of ours. For those that don't know who they are, they're a San Diego-based nonprofit organization that helps get youth outside, mostly underprivileged youth. They have leadership programs that the student or like I call them, I don't like calling them kids because a lot of them are like 16 to 24 or something, but um, and it's a really unique program because sometimes these some of the kids are it's their first time ever touching water to surf or try rock climbing or go hiking or even backpacking camping. And it's unique programs, but they're highly involved with advocacy because they have their operations on state parks and beaches and then also some federal land too for grants. And so they actually ran their own bill about having a nonprofit partnership program with state parks a few years ago, and it failed at first. But we helped out with advocacy the second time around. We're able to get it passed so that they could have a partnership agreement because before they were applying to have their programs for every day, and so they had to have a full-time staff member doing these applications to have their programs on state parks and beaches. But they could go into a statutory agreement basically with state parks and save themselves money by having a one-time application and agreement and not have to have a single staff person applying every time they needed to use the facilities or beaches. So there's a lot of unique ways we work with all of our members, but we really tried to be that connection. And we do have a connection with our lobbyist who gives feedback. Sometimes it costs a little more to run an individual bill, depending on what it is and what we need to do. But it really is helpful to have Doug and his team through us.
I think the other one we didn't talk about on was a low impact camping bill, and like how big that's going to be for rural areas that are trying to diversify just their offering, right? And allowing people with land to be able to offer low impact camping in a primitive way if you want, or to actually have a way to do it and not just do it and then ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So it was originally SB 620, which was Senator Mike McGuire's bill. It ended up not passing. It actually didn't pass because of the bill itself. It was some drama that happened between the leadership in the Assembly and the Senate, and the time McGuire was leadership in the Senate. But anyways, it got reintroduced. And it was AB 518 with Assembly member Chris Ward out of San Diego, and it did pass this time, third year trying. And what it does is it allows counties to opt in to low impact camping. I believe it's 9 sites or less. If a camp host on their private property wants to have 9 sites of camping or less, they can have this without having to go through the Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, laws that are for special occupancy. So the Special Occupancy Parks Act actually is like a really huge policy and law that requires campgrounds to have like ADA compliancy, like shower hooks, things like that. That maybe a small, low impact camping on private land wouldn't necessarily need to have, like a hip campsite is what we're thinking of. And so it basically was giving counties the opportunity to opt in. It's not legalizing it statewide. So each county does have to opt in for it, but it gives kind of a unique approach for maybe like farmers to diversify their portfolio of like how they run their business. And so we're really excited about that, and accessibility of camping it does give throughout the state, and more opportunities for that. Big campgrounds weren't really enthusiastic about it, like KOAs, but we were able to come to some kind of agreement with getting that legislation passed.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely pass this on to Shar as well from the Lionheart community. She's they're a nonprofit that it's for spinal cord injury, people from all the way from, we partner with her to do some events to where we take all of our equipment out there and let people from the community come out and ride it. And then also she's very much into, helping people bridge the gap from when they get injured to when things start kind of taking place. And she's definitely into getting people outdoors. So I'll make sure that she knows about you guys as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Chris, have you ever touched base with the California Parks and Recreation Society as well?
I probably have not. California, say that one more time.
California Parks and Recreation Society, CPRS.
Yeah, I'm obviously when you're trying to start into a new kind of chapter of what's going on, there's a lot to be learned on, who the people are. We've been reaching out to different things like Friends of State Parks of different ones. So I will actually reach out to them and see if I can. Do you have any contacts over there, or know anyone?
Yeah, I'll email you some stuff. I have your contact info. I'll email you some information.
Awesome. Yeah, the more people that we can just at least even get them to understand what's available out there and the differences it can make, it it definitely helps.
Okay.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is wonderful, and I'll see how we can fit into this picture. And like I said, you guys are more than welcome anytime you're in the area doing advocacy to at least come around and see the shop and see what we have here, because we're definitely an unusual place with all the different equipments that we have here to get people out having fun.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I think we already have our dates booked for next year's Sacramento Summit. I think it's like the 4th and 5th of May. So save that date. We'll be in Sacramento then.
I will put it on the calendar right now then.
All right. Well, if there are any other questions. Oh,
No, I just appreciate you guys' time.
thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
And look forward to working with you guys.
Us too.
Good. All right.
All
Well,
right.
thanks,
You
everybody.
guys,
Appreciate y'all joining.
yes, take care. Nice seeing
Thank
you
you.
all. Take care.